fired up for this visit, man. I'm stoked to talk with Johnny Doskow, new play-by-play announcer of the Oakland A's after 30 years grinding, and finally making it. First of all, congratulations.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. Great to be with you, and I couldn't be more excited for the opportunity and to be in green and gold again. I'm excited.
Yeah, you were with the A's in the minors, I guess, through 2014, right before they switched to the Giants affiliate. So it's got to mean a lot to you to get back to that organization at the highest level.
It does. It does. And, look, I've watched the A's from afar in the minor leagues, even going back to Cedar Rapids in 1993. They were the Madison Muskies. I was with the Cedar Rapids Colonels. So all the way through Midwest League, and then, of course, the Cal League in 96 with Modesto, and they had Visalia as well. And then you go to 98, I was with Fresno, and I watched, it was Vancouver or Edmonton, Vancouver, and then, of course, they moved to Sacramento from Vancouver. So I took over in 2001 for Jeff Walker in 2001 with the Rivercats. So I've either been on the side of the A's or kind of watching the A's from afar for my whole career for 30 years. So, and I was up in 2012 when Ken Korak missed for his knee replacement surgery. So I got the opportunity there. So it's really nice. I have so many relationships, so many friendships that I've had through the years with the A's people in the front office. And so it's really, it's been overwhelming, the people that have reached out. Because when you're in the business for that long, so many people along the way, and people are rooting for you, just like they are everybody else that's in the business. You're rooting for your friends. So it's been really cool just seeing the people reach out and getting in touch with old people I haven't talked to in a long time.
Yeah, 22 years with the Rivercats, and you're a big deal in Sacramento. Was it a kind of a gig that, yeah, you'd be fine to take that out to retirement? Or was there part of you that said, gosh, I wish somebody would give me a shot?
Well, Dave, I actually thought that was what it was going to be. And I really kind of I had peace with it, 2016, 2017, 28, all those years. I was like, you know what? I said, it's probably not going to happen. I even talked to my wife about it. I said, I loved what I did. I love what I do. Calling play-by-play at the AAA level is a lot of fun. And, it was something I was, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I kind of had peace with it the last 5 or 6 years where, look, I'm at an age where it probably won't happen. Let's be honest. Let's be realistic about it. But I never gave up hope. I mean, I always wanted to get to the next level, but I always thought, I kind of started thinking, when you're in your 30s, you're like, oh, I'm for sure going to make it. What could go wrong? And then you get in your 40s, and then you get in your 50s, like it's probably not going to happen, So it was really, I wouldn't say I lost faith. I just kind of accepted where I was, and that I'm still doing something I love, making a decent wage, and so it was something that I'd kind of come to terms with and kind of had peace with, right? And then all of a sudden, I think, a few positive things happened, and it started to kind of snowball, and I got the break. So it was nice. It's not lost on me. I got the break at 56. It doesn't happen often at that age. So I feel very fortunate.
I'm going to pimp your book in just a bit, but I was thinking of another one called Make the Big Time Where You Are. And it's a book by Frosty Weathering. He's a football coach in a smaller market, but how to really be at peace where you are. There's the picture of the book. I'll recommend it, and I'll share it with you later. And I thought about that too in my own career the last few years. So for you to make it at this point in your life, though, you've got to appreciate it so much more than someone 25 years old.
I appreciate it so much. And I'll tell you that's a great point you made, Dave, because I remember broadcasting in Northeast Iowa, and we broadcast everything from crab races to, tractor pulls. We did everything out there. And I remember there were a couple of gentlemen who broadcast they've been the high school broadcaster there for 40 years, broadcasting their high school team. And they were incredible. And I was like, these guys, this is going to be a tough business. And these guys are in this small town and they're this good, but those guys, they chose to be there. But there's so much talent throughout the country, men and women, that it's a pretty competitive business, as you know. So, that kind of gave me a taste. Like they were big time, and they were really, really good. But they were in a small town, and nobody will ever hear them, but they were incredible. So that kind of gave me an idea. There's so much talent out there, and there's so much talent in the Pacific Coast League and the International League right now, and all through Single A and Double A. There's so many talented people broadcasting. So it takes a break, but it's not lost on me that just the grind, how long it took, and the appreciation, as you said, for everything that I have going right now. I'm appreciating every moment.
Did you ever have your equivalent of a crab race when you're doing the kernels or whatever, and just wonder like, God, what am I doing the right thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have those. Sometimes, they're the early April games in AAA when nobody's there, and it's 18-7, and you're like, what am I doing? I mean, who's listening? Really, what am I doing here? So yeah, of course, everybody has those moments, and but you get home and you're like, okay, it's an experience, and then the next day, the great thing about baseball is there's always a tomorrow. Until the end of the season, so you always have the next day, and games you don't feel so good about and you're happy on the next day, and then games that you feel good about. But I remember Matt Vasgersian told me a long time ago, the legendary Matt Vasgersian told me, you're never as good or as bad as you think you are. And it's so true. It's so true. I've had games where I thought I crushed it, and my boss was like, yeah, you were off last night. And games where I thought I was off, and they're like, oh, you crushed it last night. So it's all subjective. Everybody has an opinion. You have more people not liking you as you move up. So it's part of it. It's part of the whole deal. You accept that. And play-by-play is so subjective that, I could think someone's outstanding and you could think the person's brutal. That's kind of the beauty of it. It's subjective.
Did you ever have that baseball player mindset? Because sometimes we think we have a bad game, but a closer's got to let it go. He gives up the slam. He's got to go out there the next day. Do you, as an announcer, think, man, I suck tonight, but you got to bounce back and you let it go like that?
Great point. Short memory. Yeah, just like the reliever, short memory. Yeah, you have to have that. Even on a great game, the next day that you're only as good as your last game. So yeah, I always took it day by day. Yeah, and I know it's so cliche to say one day at a time, but I think you have to as an announcer, because when you're by yourself, we listen to our stuff and we're like, oh my gosh, like I've talked to other announcers and it's so hard to listen to your own stuff. I can't do it. I rarely do. I almost never do. And you need to. You're smart to do that. But I don't know. We're so critical of ourselves, I think, that we don't understand that there's somebody out there that actually is being entertained and informed on the ball game. We have to give ourselves a little more credit than we do.
What are some of the highlights for your career in Sacramento that stand out? I'll never forget the time we blank, or I said this.
Well, I think the first championship, in 2003, when the Rivercats beat Nashville, I thought that was incredible. And then the run that they had was incredible. All the 9 out of 10 division titles. They had 5 PCL championships, 3 AAA championships. And look, the A's and Billy Beane, David Force, Billy O, and Lippman, they gave us just great teams in Sacramento through the years. It was a dynasty. It was crazy. You don't see it in AAA anymore, but they gave us dominant teams. So every year it was like, well, who's going to be in second place? The Rivercats knew they were going to win the division. So just all the championships, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 19. Of course, 19 were the Giants. Giants took over in 15 as the affiliate, but all those winning teams and I think 2007 was pretty cool for me personally, because Lou Merlone and the whole baseball team and the coaches and the manager, they presented me with a bat for my 1,000th game. That was cool. Just calling, just all the different calls, and just the thunder sticks of the ballpark with Putnam hitting those home runs in 2007, the championships. Those I'll never forget, because those were a thrill to broadcast, and the crowds were huge and people were into it, and it felt like a mini big league game. It felt like the big leagues.
I got one for you, and then tell me afterwards what you recall on the other side.
Yeah.
There's Duggar. I'll tell you, Duggar put an exclamation point on Riley O'Brien's outing with a grand slam here. You have that feeling sometimes. You have that feeling someone's going to do something. This is one of those times. The right-hander comes set. And the 1-1 pitch. That's swung on. Drive to deep right field. Going back is Wilson. It is gone. A grand slam for Duggar. And the Rivercats lead it 6-0. You just had a feeling there. It's a 6-0 lead as Duggar goes deep. A grand slam for Duggar. 6-0 Sacramento.
Come on, Nostradamus. Not bad.
Sometimes you get a feeling. Sometimes you get a feeling he was coming up, and I knew. Sometimes you just know, and I haven't said that much on the air. Like I have a feeling here. I've done a few times, but that one I really had a strong feeling, and he proved me right in Tacoma.
That's pretty cool. Great. Hey Johnny, how did you get the phone call that said it's going to happen?
Well, I was talking over the course of several months to Dallaire Lures. He's so great, and he kind of gave me an idea. He said we may have created a position for you. It wasn't a traditional thing where they have an opening and you send your stuff and you wait and you're in the top 5 and then they have an interview. It wasn't that process. It was that we may have created something for you. The A's have been so good over several years, and Vince Cotronio's big on this too, is helping minor league announcers get games. The legendary Bob Hards, Jesse did it. All these guys, like in the minor leagues, they got these guys to do games, and I think it's awesome. So, they had used a bunch of guys, and Alex Jensen too is great. He got to do a lot of games too. So Roxy Bernstein too. They had a bunch of guys do it. So I think what they wanted to do, I think he just wanted to have one person fill in for those games. I think that was the goal, and I'm fortunate enough that he wanted me to do those games. That's kind of, so it was over the course of several months. Then when he finally gave me the call that it was good, it was emotional. It really was.
I bet.
I'd done those games in 2012, but just to be on the A's team full time was really overwhelming after 30 years. It just comes over you. You can't really control it. You just, it really got me. It really got me. So, getting that call. And then I told my daughter, I told my wife and daughter, and they were emotional. So it was, look, it's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, so I'm getting emotional hearing it, as you could see right here after grinding for all those years. It's awesome, man. It's awesome that you stuck with it and made it happen for you. Hey, what advice would you give to a couple groups? The young announcer breaking in that wants to do it, and that grizzled veteran that's out there doing those crab races that's still clinging on to that dream.
Well, Jerry Howard, who did the Blue Jays back in the day, always told me and it was the best advice, because I met him early on in my career, and he said in like 98 or 99, he said, look, be happy where you are, because there are no guarantees, so make everything your big leagues. Like wherever you are, if you're in A-ball, make it your big leagues, right? And I love that. That was the same thing that you showed me in that book. Like they make AAA your big leagues, make the collegiate baseball you're doing your big leagues. Like that's your big leagues. Dominate and just enjoy what you do, and you move up. Just enjoy what you do. Look, there's obviously luck involved. There's obviously luck, of course there is, but it's kind of loving what you do, and being do everything, be a team player, like enjoy everybody you work with, right? The minor leagues, when you're in, you're doing sales and you're doing everything with the program, and you're doing everything in the minor leagues, and enjoy the people you work with. I've been fortunate to work with a lot of great people along the way. It's like, I think that's part of it. The great thing about our business is just the people. You and I shared 12 people in common before we went on the air here, right? It's all about the people and the relationships and friendships you have. That's what it's all about. So I think my advice would be have fun. I always say, be prepared, have fun, be loose, right? Those three: be loose and be prepared, have fun. Those three. And you do that, you never know what can happen, So 30 years, it's and just look, you got to have goals. You want to set goals of broadcasting the big leagues. We all do, but don't give up on that. Just keep rolling, keep trying, and do as many games as you can. Like I think you have to do thousands of games to be ready to go to the next level, right? You have to. You can't. I don't think you can do 200, 300, 400 games and go in. It's harder. It's harder. You can't. People do it. I just think it's a lot. It's a lot harder. There's so much talent in this business, and there's so many women that are so talented. There's so many people that are coming up that are talented, that are moving up the ranks. So it's a pretty exciting time right now.
Yeah. No, so I guess networking obviously is huge in this, but you sound like someone where your relationships are organic. You do work with people, and but you're not out using that word schmoozing. Like, hey, let me do this for you too, and I'm now I'm saying that word, and I have a really bad feeling on schmoozing. Just natural, organic relationships.
I'm not good at it. I'm just not good.
Yeah,
I'm not
it sucks.
good at that networking thing. It sucks. I'm not good at it. I don't get it. I don't like, oh, this to this for this and this at this. It just doesn't, it's so phony, and I don't dig it. So I think relationships have to be organic. They have to be. You have friendships here, and you know, you don't love everybody and not everybody loves you. It's part of it, but there are enough good people out there that you can network without trying to network. Right. So I'm with you, Dave. That's how you do it, man. It's got to be organic friendships. And look, I know I'm not for everybody. I know that not everybody's going to like it. It's part of it, man. It's as you get older, you care less and less what people think about you, you know, but it's because there are going to be people don't like you, and it's part of it, you know? So I think when you're in your 20s, at least me in my 20s, I had to be, you know, oh, what does this person think? And I think you just kind of get over that in time. That's the advantage of getting to the big leagues at this age, you know, in your 50s. It's that, you know, not everybody's going to love you, but yeah, no, I just feel so fortunate, you know, Dave Cavell and Catherine Aker and Dallaire, that just the fact they're giving me a chance here in my 50s says a lot about the A's organization, says a lot about the A's, and says just that they're looking at who would be a team player and who will do well, you know? So it's pretty cool.
Not the whole younger and cheaper thing that we hear about, you know, all the time, which is awesome.
Thanks, man.
Hey, you're also not just a great announcer, but a successful book author, right? You came up with this book of Japanese haiku during some downtime, Goodnight Em. Tell me about that, because I was looking at what haiku is. A Japanese poem in 3 lines, the first and last consisting of 5 moire, the second consisting of 7 moire, usually with an emphasis on the season or a naturalistic theme. And you wrote about that stuff.
Well, I think it's funny because people say author, and that's a bit of a stretch. I wouldn't say author. Haiku, no, with all due respect to the haiku, not really an author. I put together about 450 haiku, and I narrowed it down to 200 and put them in a book. My wife said, you know, I was writing them because during the pandemic, I was just writing haiku, and she goes, you know, you're in baseball, you might want to write some baseball haiku. And I'm like, you know, good point. So I wrote, they're mostly about baseball, some about life, but it's just something I had always done them on all those Southwest flights. I wrote haiku all the time, and I'd write them and I'd put them in that, you know, those magazines they have there, and I'd either leave them there or take them with me. And so I never collected those. I wrote some good ones too. It kills me. I lost those. But so in 2020 during the pandemic, I just started writing them and just kept writing them. And it was fun. I write like 10 a day, 12 a day, you know, and finally I got enough to narrow it down for a book. My wife and I went through them and we're like, should this one be thrown out? Is this one bad? You know, so some are better than others for sure. But so I put together this book and I said, what should we do for a title? And she's like, duh, Goodnight Em. That's your sign off for your daughter, you know? And so we put it, so, you know, put it together and there you go. So it was a lot of fun to write. There's some good, you know, a lot of former Rivercats in there from the A's affiliate and from the Giants affiliate. And it was a really fun project. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm no author, but I'll put together a few haiku now and then. It was fun.
So you're more of a poet than a book author.
I would say, yeah, sure. You can say that. I'm no Robert Frost. I'm a little bit of a poet. Yeah.
The plural of haiku, by the way, is haiku. It's not haikus. I think you can either one of them are appropriate.
Right.
Yeah. Do you know any off the top of your head?
Let's see. Pressure on me.
Didn't mean to put the pressure. Sorry about that. If you have to grab the book, I'll wait for you.
I know they're all a blur right now. There's one about the being uncomfortable in the elevator. I like that one. I don't know if I can recite the exact haiku, but there are so many that I just, you know, I love because it's their baseball and their life. You know, they're about my daughter too. My daughter singing and her voice, and so there's some family. There's a lot of family stuff in there. So yeah, I don't know what people recite them to me. People say I like this one and I like that one, but I just for some reason I'm drawing a blank on any of them right now. But let's about 198 in there, and there's some pretty good ones.
How do I get my autographed copy?
I'll get you one. I'll send you one. Yeah.
That's cool. And I think if you online, you can Google it and you can find Goodnight Em and your name. You'll be able to find the book and go ahead and
Yeah,
get it.
Dave,
So.
it was really fun project. I want to do another one at some point, but yeah, look, it was especially during the pandemic when I was just outside the whole time and uh, doing nothing. So I was like, it was fun to write some haiku. Anybody can do it. Like there are kids in elementary school that write haiku way better than me. Like anybody can be a talented haiku poet, if you will.
And that filled a void for you then during the pandemic, right? Because you need something to do. And
absolutely, it did. It was great. Yeah, it was a really fun project, and there were some days I wrote 3, other days I wrote 15. It just depended on if it was fine. Again, it's like the friendships. I never forced it. It just came that whatever came to me, I wrote. And I remember there was a poem. I wrote a haiku about Ishikawa. Travis Ishikawa with the home run, for the Giants to help him win the pennant. I wrote a haiku about him, and I woke up in a panic at 4 a.m. because it wasn't 575. It was like 676 or whatever. I'm like, so I went and I sprinted out, and I'm like, oh my gosh! So I redid this. There were some panic moments. I did a couple of things that on the first batch where I missed Fikach's name, Jeremy Fikach. So look, when you're self-editing your own haiku book, and now I'm going to go for the professionals from now on. I'm going to have a professional edit it because that was there was a couple of mistakes on the first batch. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough. So when you do your first major league game with the A's this time around as one of the guys, you're going to say Goodnight Em when it's over, right?
I don't think I can. Because first of all, the games I'm doing on spring training, they're all day games. I never said it at a day game. I never said it after a day game. Plus, I'm the number 3 guy. So like at the end of games, it'll either be Vinny or Ken that do
the exactly.
Final. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
If you called the final, if you called the final out, you do it.
Yeah, if I call, actually, you know what? I said it after post game, so maybe if I'm doing scores at the end, I don't. You know what? I think I will kind of ease into it a little bit.
I understand. I know. You
right?
Got to stay in your lane right now.
Stay in my lane. I'm low person on the totem pole, so I'm just gonna, whatever they tell me to do. So,
what will your emotion like? Can you even think about it? I know you've thought about it. Going into that stadium for the first time, any stadium, right? And you're doing this, and you're one of the guys. What that's going to mean to you?
I'll let you know how my emotions are. It's anytime, even those games in 2012 when I walked into Fenway and Baltimore, Camden Yards and those places. It just it's amazing. I walked actually. They thought I was crazy. I walked from the hotel in Boston to Fenway. They're like, it's about a 40-minute walk. I'm like, I don't care, man. I want to soak it all in,
Yeah.
So they're all taking the bus. I walked all the way into Fenway Park and just kind of soaked it in. So much history there. And we're going to Yankee Stadium this year, which I'm excited about. So many ballparks I haven't seen. Like I've been to, St. Louis. I haven't been to, I've been to Fenway, but all those Detroit, Toronto. I've been into those ballparks. That's going to be a thrill to walk into those places and see those spots. So, look, it's, I have no idea what it's going to be like. I'm an open, I'm going to be open about everything and just embrace it and enjoy it, because I just, even the hotels, everything's different. So I'm excited to embrace all of it.
We're all on this ride with you, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, Dave.
Johnny
Thanks so much.
Doskow of the Oakland Athletics. And we're going to do this again. Okay.
Yeah. Anytime. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for stopping by. You can't subscribe to the Dave Lewis Show. Smash that button. Helps out in such a big way. Also, the audio version available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. The 5-star reviews, the comments are huge. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.